Picture this. You're walking up to the customer service desk. You have an item you desperately need to return, but as you dig through your pockets and absolutely scour the bottom of your bag, your stomach completely drops. The receipt is just gone. We've all been there, right? And in those final 15 seconds before you reach the front of the line, that familiar panic starts to set in. But what if I told you that losing your receipt doesn't actually mean you're out of luck? Welcome to our explainer. Today we're going to crack the code on navigating one of the absolute most common retail headaches.
You know, navigating a no-receipt return can honestly feel like you're negotiating a hostage situation sometimes. It feels full of confusing rules, frustrating dead ends, and a lot of eye rolls. But it really doesn't have to be that way. We're going to provide you with a comprehensive insider's playbook to solving this exact problem once and for all. We'll look directly at Walmart's actual official policies, their hidden tracking algorithms, and the exact step-by-step actions you can take to make sure you get your money back.
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Understanding Walmart's return policy. 2. Steps to take for a successful return. 3. Tips and tricks to ensure a smooth process. 4. What to do if your return is denied. And 5. Important updates and disclaimer. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Understanding Walmart's return policy. Demystifying the rules.
Okay, so for the vast majority of items, Walmart is actually quite generous, offering a standard 90-day return window. But the devil is always in the details. That window shrinks drastically depending on exactly what you're trying to return. While general merchandise gives you that full 90 days, high-value electronics, we're talking drones, laptops, TVs, those only give you 30 days. Mobile phones, you've got just 14 days. And major home appliances carry a super strict 2-day return window. Knowing these deadlines is literally your very first line of defense.
And the really crucial point here is that some things simply cannot be returned at all, receipt or no receipt. So please, do not waste a trip to the store if you're trying to return firearms, ammunition, prescription meds, used tires, or gas-powered vehicles. Oh, and gift cards or prepaid cell phone cards? Total no-go. Same goes for hygienic, medical equipment, and things like pregnancy tests. Those are strictly non-returnable. If your item isn't on this list, though, you are still in the game. Now let's take a quick look at a standard return versus a no-receipt return. With a standard return, it's easy. You hand over the receipt and your refund goes right back to your original payment method. Simple. But without a receipt, the whole process shifts. Walmart is going to require a valid government-issued photo ID to process the transaction, and the type of compensation you actually receive is going to change completely. So here is exactly what you can expect to get back based on the item's monetary value. If the item is under $10, you can actually walk away with a cash refund. Pretty great! But if it's over $10, Walmart will issue your refund on a Walmart gift card or as store credit. Alternatively, and this is good to know, regardless of the value, you almost always have the option to just do an even exchange for another item right then and there. Section 2. Steps to take for a successful return. Execution of the plan. All right, here's your step-by-step guide for when you walk up to that counter. First, obviously, bring the item in its original packaging if possible. And absolutely do not forget your government-issued photo ID. You have to hand both of these to the associate. Step 2, they're going to scan the item's barcode to confirm it's actually in their system. And then they're going to scan your ID. This ID scan routes your information directly to a secure verification database. Finally, if approved, you simply choose your refund method based on the item's value like we just talked about.
But wait, there is a hard limit to this flexibility, and you really need to know this one. It's known as the 3 and 45 rule. According to Walmart's policies, you are generally limited to 3 no-receipt returns within a 45-day period. If you try to make a 4th return without a receipt in that window, the computer system is going to automatically block the transaction. And it does not matter how incredibly polite you are to the cashier, the computer just says no.
Section 3. Tips and tricks to ensure a smooth process. Insider secrets.
If you want to bypass the stress of a no-receipt return entirely, try these digital hacks before you ever hand over your ID. First off, check the purchase history in your Walmart app. You'd be surprised how many in-store purchases auto-sync if your card is linked. Second, use the official receipt lookup tool on walmart.com. If you know the date and the card you used, it'll generate a digital receipt for you. And finally, my favorite trick, just ask the cashier to swipe the debit or credit card you used for the purchase. The system can very often pull up the transaction instantly, turning a messy no-receipt situation into a totally standard full refund return.
Now, what happens when you do actually have to hand over your ID?
While Walmart, like a lot of major retailers today, uses a third-party risk management database called the Retail Equation, or TRE for short. When your ID gets scanned, TRE tracks your return patterns, the frequency of your returns, and the total dollar values to instantly calculate a consumer risk score. It's basically a secret, hidden credit score just for returning items. Crazy, right?
But don't panic. According to TRE themselves, 99% of returns are approved without a single hitch. The system is specifically hunting for that 1% of transactions that mimic fraud. This means things like returning stolen items or a shady practice called wardrobing, which is where someone buys an item, uses it briefly, and then returns it. If you're just an honest shopper, you are likely perfectly safe. But just keep in mind that excessive no-receipt returns will definitely tank your risk score over time.
Here is another massive tip, and this is straight out of the official policy. The store manager retains final authority. This means that at the end of the day, plain old human discretion still plays a huge role. An associate at the desk might tell you no, but a manager actually has the power to override the system for borderline cases. This is exactly why being polite, patient, and courteous is literally one of your most valuable tools at the return desk.
Section 4. What to do if your return is denied, troubleshooting. So, let's say the worst happens and you get denied. Here is your rapid-fire backup strategy. First, as we just learned, politely ask to speak with a store manager. If the in-store manager refuses, you can actually call 1-800-WALMART to get corporate customer service involved. If the item is defective but you're just past the return window, go check the manufacturer's warranty. And as an absolute last resort for complex disputes, services like Do Not Pay can help you navigate chargebacks directly with your bank.
I want to highlight that corporate option for a second, because it's a real game changer. Sometimes local stores strictly enforce rules just because they have high local theft rates, and that leads to a blanket in-store denial for you. But shoppers have reported literally standing at the customer service desk, calling 1-800-WALMART, and having the corporate representative contact that front-end manager directly to authorize an override right on the spot. It just proves that escalating your issue calmly and properly can totally get results.
And please, whatever you do, do not forget the manufacturer's warranty. Let's say you bought a TV and it breaks on day 35. Well, you've missed Walmart's 30-day electronics return window. They won't take it back. But the company that actually made the TV, they almost certainly provide a 1-year warranty on that thing. So Walmart might be out of the picture, but the manufacturer still owes you a fix or a replacement. Always check that.
Section 5. Important updates and disclaimer. Final thoughts.
As we wrap up this explainer, there is one final incredibly crucial thing to remember about navigating these massive corporate systems. Retail policies are living documents. They change over time. The 3 and 45 limit, the 90-day window, even the acceptable forms of ID. These can all be updated by Walmart at any given moment. So always check Walmart's official website or app for the most current rules before you load up the car and head to the store. And remember, this explainer is meant to provide you with general guidance based on current policies. It is not legal advice.
So the next time you lose a receipt, there is absolutely no need to panic. You know how to pull up digital records, you understand exactly how your ID is being scored behind the scenes, and you know how to politely escalate to a manager if things get stuck. You hold the playbook now. The only question is, are you ready to confidently conquer the return desk? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.